Hi FMEers. As you might be able to see here, I've got FME 2021 installed, and it's going to release tomorrow. I've got one thing I want to test before it goes out, just to make sure it made the cut. So I thought, hey, I'll loop you in at the same time and you can see this, because you might find it interesting what there is. So, and how it works and what it does. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a translation, parks data. It all comes down to templates, what I'm trying to look at now, and it's all about what happens when you save a template with data and without data, and with caches and without caches. So I'm just going to throw a few transformers in there, excuse me, just so I can cache some data. And I figure this is probably the easiest one that I can do. Let's see, I'm going to just calculate some statistics. I'm going to save this workspace. I need to 2121 demo, we'll call it. And got caching on, and I'm hitting the run button. So I've got items cached. So now what I'm going to do is save this as a template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Include Feature Caches button, but I'm going to turn off the data. See, the point is I'd like to be able to save a workspace as a template, but keep the original paths to the original data sets. Normally, if I wrap the data inside the template, it reads it back in when I create a new workspace from that template, and the paths that point to the data sets get moved to temporary paths as well. And I'm like, well, I just want to save the workspace with the caches, and it can stay pointing to the same data because that data is always going to be there on my system. So if you're going to use a template and not share the data, this is what happens. And again, normally, if I open this template, normally what would happen is the paths become temporary paths, but that's not the case now. They've become the full path to the data. So that's fantastic. So that's one of the things I'd ask to be added in there, because now whenever I run a big workspace and I've got caches, I can just say File, Save as a Template. Don't need to save the data because that's already on my system, and now it won't mess up the paths and make them temporary paths to data that doesn't exist. It's going to keep the full path. So that's fantastic. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So thank you to the developers for doing that. And yeah, FME should be releasing tomorrow, 2021. We've got 2 webinars, one at 8 o'clock PST, so that's a good time if you're in Europe, and on the East Coast US, and then another one that we're holding later at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which will probably be a bit a bit late for Europe, I guess. 11 or 12 o'clock is a bit late, but maybe that's Australian time is a good one there. So yeah, anyway, I hope to see you on the webinars tomorrow, and FME 2021, it's going to be fantastic.